इबादत, लेकिन हम लोग लोट पोट चंपक ये सब पढ़ते बड़े हुए हैं, चाचा चौधरी what not. But because of the influx of internet, computer, mobile phones, perhaps they have shifted to the back bench, or we have those characters take the back seat. But nevertheless, if you go to the books, you could find that interest which is there in the book is not there in the mobile phones or internet or computers, I'm sure. When I just informed our eminent guests that we had 60 plus children who had composed poems, poetries, and short stories in this school, they were literally amazed now, because children these days generally avoid composing, avoid reading, avoid writing. But audience here proves that yes, we still love reading, we love composing, we love writing. You know, DAV always says we are committed to the holistic development of each and every child. आप DAV में भरोसा करके यहाँ पढ़ने आए हो, तो केवल पढ़ाई तक ही सीमित रखेंगे हम आपके जीवन को। आपका सर्वांगीण विकास हमारा उद्देश्य है। We are committed to it. So in this school, which is the best of all DAVs and best in Bihar, we will give you every opportunity to pursue your passion, which makes a person an educated human being, a global citizen. I won't linger my speech because we all are waiting for the presentation of our children. Children from whole Bihar zone B have come here to present their composition, their poems, poems and short stories. We will have those, and at the end, we will have the experience and expertise as well as interaction sharing of the eminent personalities that we have. I thank them to give us an opportunity to get the honor of their presence. And definitely we are going to enrich ourselves with their knowledge and expertise. Thank you. We all will have a very good day ahead.
Thank you, sir. Definitely, our young budding writers today will take away from the expertise of our literary personalities who will be sharing with them many things to enrich the literature, will instill literary flair among them. The conclave is open and honored to invite our distinguished literary personalities on stage, Dr. Shankar Ashish Dutt, former professor, Department of English, Patna University, Dr. Munima, former associate professor, Department of English, Patna University, Mr. Santosh Singh, senior assistant editor, The Indian Express, on the stage. Unlock your dreams, unlock your passion, unlock your potential, unlock your motivation, unlock your knowledge, unlock your experience, unlock your wisdom. Young budding writers from different Delhi public schools of Bihar, Zone B, will be narrating poetry, short story, and other creative writing which they have written. I first invite participants from Delhi Public School, Jahanabad, participants from Delhi Public School, Jahanabad, please come on the stage one by one. Delhi Public School, Saina Suhail, for story presentation. Swati Soumya, be ready. Story, Shama Pandey for poem, and Jaya Kumari for poem. Shubhya for story, recitation. Your Saina's name. A big round of applause for Saina. Next speaker from Jahanabad, Eden.
A very warm good afternoon to all of you present here. I am China Suhail, studying standard 10 from the Public School, Jahanabad. Today, I feel so blessed to stand in front of you and to present my story in front of you all. The title of my story is Value of Life. Before writing my story, I would like to ask you a question. What is the value of your life? What is the value of your life? If I give you $1,000 for your life, will you give your life to me?
$1 billion question that will you give your life for money? Life is precious. It was your imagination, expression, Saira, that life is precious for all of us. A good morale in the story. Next participant from Delhi Public School, Jahanabad, Swati Soumya, story.
Good morning, everyone. Respected parents, respected teachers, and all my guests. I'm Swati Soumya from Delhi Public School, Jahanabad. I'm here to narrate a story. The title of the story is The Unbreakable Bond. Once upon a time, there was a flock of cranes. In that flock, there was a young crane and his old mother. They wandered together till evening and went back to the banks of river after sunset for night rest. Next morning, they went back to the ground and after doing their job, they came back to the riverside after sunset. It was a blessed night. The weather was fairly cold and strong cold lights were glowing. The young crane mother was shivering due to cold, and his young the mother crane saw that his child was not with her. She got scared and started searching for his son. She said, "Oh my son, where are you? Where are you?" And he implored a lot. The last night, the young prince saw his mother shivering with cold, so he decided to surprise his mother. He saw a boat nest in a nearby beach and wanted to make such a nest for his mother. Finally, he completed his work and finally the sun had set and all our friends. Young prince was so much afraid and started crying. Please come, please come. He was screaming so hardly, and after some time he fell asleep. He was dreaming about his mother, and suddenly he woke up. He saw bright sunlight entering his eyes, and suddenly he saw his mother in front of him. He got surprised. Both the mother and the child got very emotional. He asked his mother in sibling voice, "Oh mom, where are you? Did you know how scared I was when I didn't see you yesterday? It was like a dreadful nightmare for me." The mother said, "Oh my son, I was too scared when I didn't see you with me when I was coming." Both were happy and emotional too. The young prince said, "See mom, I have made a beautiful and warm nest for you in order that you wouldn't suffer from cold." Moral of my story. There is an unbreakable bond exists in everyone's life. That is the bond of mother with his son. When we are young, our parents take care of us, but after we grow up, it's our responsibility to support our parents to take care of our parents. God, the bond of mother and its life is created by God, which comprises an unconditional love and which is unbreakable. Thank you and thank you.
Thank you, Swati. Very well you presented your story. Next it is Shama Pandey from Delhi Public School, Jahanabad. Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought and the thought has found its words. Shama will be presenting poetry recitation.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. I'm Shama Pandey from Standard 10, Delhi Public School, Jahanabad. Standing before you to appraise the role of mothers, the love, care, and affection provided by her for the development of a child, the sacrifices made by them for the sake of their children are really uncomparable. So here's the poem dedicated to all mothers. The title of my poem is Everything Mom. How did you find the
love for mom. Your poetry reminds me, I've read that the prestigious examination of the country in UPSC interview, a question was asked from the candidate that when half chapati is in your plate, you are eating, and without asking, someone puts another half chapati in your plate, who is the person? And the candidate replied, it's my mother, who understands me, who loves me. Mother's love is incomparable. Next participant from GAV Jahanabad, Jia, and after this, Subhaya for story recitation. Zia.
A very rosy good morning to one and all present here. Myself, Jia Kumari, from Standard 9, from DAV Studies, One Day, Girls Will Rise. So in this poem, we are going to know that in spite of all the restrictions, how a girl child will rise, feelings and thoughts of a girl. So let's start. Why? Why all the foundations are only for me? Why all these sacrifices only I have to see? Why all the foundations only for me? Why all these sacrifices only I have to leave? Is there no scope for humanity? Is there no scope for humanity? If we girls do all the things, then what about boys? If we girls do all the things, then what about boys? So let me tell you guys. For boys, there are open skies. For boys, there are open skies where they can chill and enjoy. But for girls, restrictions of household work. For girls, there are restrictions of household work. However, boys have opportunity to lead their lives. Boys have opportunity to lead their lives. But I want to tell you guys that sky is provided to boys, but one day girls will arise and only girls will arise. People often criticize it's their duty. People often criticize girls, you are sitting like impolite. People often criticize how girl, you are sitting like impolite. It looks dirty, right? But I want to tell those conservative guys, that there is dirtiness in your mind and not in girls' sitting styles, not in girls' sitting styles. However, sky is provided to boys, but one day girls will arise and only girls will arise. One thing that I want to say to all the girls, that when difficult situations comes in your life, then don't say why me. Don't say why me. Always and always say just try me once, just try me once. So thank you so much for listening to me so peacefully and have a nice day.
Really good job. This announcement bound the most relevant issue of today, gender discrimination. Next, the last participant from DAV Public School, Jahanabad, Soumya. Soumya.
कह रहे सर का फोन है ये जो आप हमको दिए
Shubhya.
सर का फोन है जो आप हमको दिए हेलो कह रहे
Very
फोन
auspicious
किसका है
morning
जो
to
हमको
all
दिए हैं
present. I'd like to introduce myself to you.
खास
I'm
करके
Untitled
फोन है बहुत
Chapter
रिकॉर्डिंग
of Commerce from DAV Public School, Jahanabad, and I'm here to present a short story which is related to stress and worries of the young generation. So, the title of my story is The Weight of the
कॉल
Class.
आ रहा है उसके बार बार
Once upon a time, a psychology professor walked around the stage while teaching stress management principles to an auditorium filled with students. As she raised a glass of water, everybody expected that there be a typical half glass filled and half glass empty question. Instead, with a smile on her face, the professor asked, "How heavy is the glass of water I'm holding?" The students shouted answers ranging from 8 ounces to a couple of pounds. She replied, "From my perspective, the absolute weight of this glass doesn't matter. It all depends on how long I hold it. If I hold it for a minute or two, it's very light. If I hold it for an hour straight, the weight might make my arm ache a little bit. If I hold it for a day straight, my arm will likely cramp up and feel completely numb and paralyzed, forcing me to drop the water to the ground. In each case, the weight of the glass doesn't change, but the longer I hold it, the heavier it feels to me. As the glass shook their head in agreement, she continued, "Your stress and worries in life are very much like a glass of water. Think about them for a while and nothing happens. Think about them for a bit longer, you will begin to ache a little. Think about it for all day long and you feel completely numb and paralyzed. And you will feel completely numb and paralyzed, incapable of doing anything else, you drop them." So, in today's world, our stress and worries are just like a glass of water. We keep holding it until the day and we take it to the next day. And we force ourselves to carry the heavy load and burden of this world. But instead, we should realize that we should not take the stress and worries too much long. We should drop the glass immediately and keep ourselves relaxed. Thank you and have a nice day and thank you for being a great audience.
Very well, you presented your story. Next, participants from AV Paliganj. Participants from AV Public School, Paliganj. Sanskriti Gupta, Aradhya Kumari, Archita Kumari, and Akansha Kumari. Sanskriti Gupta, young budding writers. Our future depends on stories as the world advances. Literature has the ability to ground us in our humanness, our imagination, and enlightenment. Next, Sanskriti Gupta from DAV Public School, Paliganj.
Hi everyone, my name is Shishir. I'm from class 8 from DAV Public Paliganj. My story is Well of Life. A man went to God and asked what the value of life. God gave him one stone and said, "Go and find out the value of this stone." But it was stone. A man took the stone to an orange seller and asked, "What's the price of this stone today?" The orange seller saw the shining stone and said, "Sir, I will give you 12 oranges, but give me the stone." The man apologized and said, "God said me not to sell this stone, so sorry, I'm not doing it." The man started to walk and saw a vegetable seller. He went there and said, "What goes you will give me?" He said, "I will give you one sack of potatoes, but give me the stone." The man said, "No, I will not. I can't sell this." The man came out from there and started thinking, where should I go? An idea popped in his head and said, "I'm going to jewelry shop." He went there and asked the seller, "What price would you take from this stone?" He saw the shiny stone and mumbled, "Wow, I will give you 50 lakh, but give me the stone." The man shook his head as no and said, "I will not do it." After some time, the jeweler thinks and says, all right, I will give you 2 crore, but give me the stone." The man said, "No, I'm not going to give you this." The man came out and while walking a bit away, he went to the expensive store shop. He saw the man was selling charming, lovely, attractive stones. He went there and asked, "What cost you will give me of this stone?" The seller saw the shiny stone and said, "Sir, you will just pay rupee?" He said, "Yes." So the man took the rupee and then lied down a red cloth and put the rupee on it and started walking circles around the rupee. And then ran down, touched his head in front of the rupee and said, "Where did you get this from?" The man went white. Then the seller said, "If I sell my whole world, my life, I wouldn't purchase anything with this priceless stone. Quite speechless and confused man took God to God and said, all things what happens with him. The God said that what happened. He told everything and the man asked again, what the wealth of land God? The God said, you get it from an orange seller, vegetable seller, jeweler, and expensive stone seller. He said that you must be expensive like stone, even priceless. But people know the value of people by information. So respect yourself. You are unique. No one can replace you. If someone copies you, it doesn't mean they will be that. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you are here.
Very good moral, connect, respect yourself. Sanskriti, next Aradhya Kumari for poetry recitation.
Hello everyone. How are you all? I know you are very fine, and I want to say you that I am Aradhya Kumari from BB Parliament, and I am today directing a poem. The title of this poem is Equipment, and it is written by Oliver Guest. So, if you want to know that how is a poem and what is the topic is means, you know that what type of equipments you have. Anyone know what type of equipments you have? No one? Okay. I am reciting my poem and then you give my answer. What is this? Okay. He will surely change your mind and entitled equipment. Figure it out for yourself while I figure it out for yourself. 2 hands, 2 legs, and 2 eyes, and a brain to you. Start from the top and say, I can. Look at over with white and grey. They take their food from common plate. And similar knives and forks they use with similar laces to tie their suits. The world considers will brave and smart, but you have all they had when they made their start. You can jump and come to the speed. You can breathe, and if you succeed in spend in that direction. So thank you so much for what I have right here.
Next is Archita.
Good morning, all of you. I am Harshita from class 9. I am going to narrate a story. The title of my story is The Value of Hard Work. A successful businessman was the father of a very lazy and fun-loving boy. He knew that he had to do something about it because his son would spend money carelessly and never help around the house. So his father decided to teach him a lesson. One day he told him to he told his dad, from today onwards, you will be only be given meals at night. Only if you earn something through the day. The son was confused at first, in doubtful disbelief, but looking at his seriousness on his father's face, he knew he was not joking. The son went to his mother for sympathy and help. Feeling sorry for him, she gave him one gold coin. That night at the dinner table, the father asked the son about his earning for the day. The son promptly showed him the gold coin that his mother had given him. And seeing the gold coin, the father knew that the boy hadn't done anything wrong. He asked him to throw the golden coin into the well. Without hesitation, the boy threw the coin into the well. The next morning, the father sent his wife to her parents' house. The boy woke up and realized that his mother was not along the house to give him his money. So he went to the market to search for work. He met a shopkeeper who he thought might be able to help him. The shopkeeper looked at him and said, I will give very accomplished, having won 3 silver ones all by himself. He reached home to show his father. He proudly presented the 3 silver ones to him. But his father again asked him to throw the coins into the well. This time the boy refused almost in tears. He felt cross. Father, my entire body is aching and you are asking me to throw the money I made into the well? He said repeated. The father smiled and said, it is painful when the fruit of your hard labor are wasted. Most 3 coins are made out of your hard work, sweat, and tears. When you didn't come for the coins, you threw them into the well with no hesitation. You now understand the value of these coins is your hard work. The son realized the value of hard work and understood his mistake. Sometimes life's best lessons come from the hardest situation. The value of hard work is not only in the reward, but also in our own sense of achievement.
Thank you. The story of a good lesson and the value of hard work. The last participant from PAV Paliganj.
Good morning, all of you presented here. I am Akash Kumari from Standard 9 from DAV Parliament. I am going to recite a poem. The title of my poem is Life is a Competition. It is written by Francis Letter. Life is a competition. That's how it seems to be. Young people compete for a unique decision. Competition and supposed to be the best athlete. Even for a job or start, people have to compete. Life is a competition, but you're not happy. At least, anyhow, that's how it seems to be. People competing for promotion in their workplace every year. As humans are going competitive, it does seems this way. Life's not meant to be easy or this. There's not a doubt. For to be someone else is loser. We all cannot be winners, despite what some will say. Luck or circumstance in life has a huge part of play. And in all facts of life, people compete to succeed. And that winners are winners, there seems to admit. Thank you. Have a nice day.
And very well we are presented. All that you can see for these young ones, life is valuable, yes. Especially, we learned about it, that how precious our life is. Recently, when we faced pandemic, COVID-19, that time we learned valuable lessons that life is precious, we need to protect it. I'm privileged to say that we have eminent scholar, Dr. Shankar Ashish Dutt, eminent literary personality, orator. We all are eagerly waiting to listen to you, sir. If you can speak, you can influence. If you can influence, you can change lives. Dr. Shankar Ashish Dutt, Professor and Head of Department of English in Patna University, the former Chairman of Bihar Sangeet Natak Academy and former Principal, College of Arts and Craft. He has been a UGC, British Council, American Center resource person for English studies and has lectured and chaired seminars at various eminent institutions. He is on the advisory board, governing body, board of studies and academic council of a number of universities and institutions and consultant for various international educational organizations. He has trained the master's and PhD coursework syllabi in the universities of Bihar, Central University of South Bihar, Maulana Masroor Haq University, and Nalanda Open University. Writer and editor, his publications are in area of cultural studies and liberation literature. Professor Duck is the coordinator for a collaborative research project with Tata Institute of Social Sciences and the guest editor for the second volume on migration. A number of research students have been Fulbright scholars and many hold distinguished positions in academia, the civil services, the judiciary, corporate houses, and in social service. He has been honored with a number of awards, including the Best Teacher Award by Patna University, the Frank Anthony Award, Rotary and Lion Club Awards for his teaching, research and citizenship, and distinguished Zaverian Award and Research Award by Patna University in the year 2019. I invite this eminent literary personality, Dr. Shankar Ashish Dutt. We all are eager to listen to you, sir. A big round of applause for such a eminent scholar. So please, you are invited.
Thank you, Dr. Nita Sharma. It is an honor to be in this institution. When I say it's an honor, it is not merely an trite opening that one offers at the beginning of an address. I say it for the simple reason that I felt very honored that two teachers from this school came to invite us, Mrs. Vinita Sharma and Mrs. Nivedita Singh. And the reception we got in this school when we arrived, with the principal, Mr. M.K. Das, welcoming us so warmly, it feels wonderful to be here with all of you. We were absolutely delighted by the performance, reading poems and short stories by the students who came here. It tells us a story. And the story that it tells is that our students have immense potential. And the other story that I learned is the emphasis on basic human values that were discernible in each one of their own creative efforts or the poems and short stories that they've chosen to narrate here. It is actually a little surprising that a literary conclave has been organized by DAV with its emphasis on
English literature. Because these things are now often a thing of the past. Now I wish to locate English literary studies within a post-colonial context. And when I use the word post-colonial, I'm using it in two different senses. One in the sense of periodization, in other words, that the literature that has evolved in India, written in English after independence, and I'm also looking at it in terms of dismantling forms of representation that Western writers, and Western writers are largely British writers, have provided for India and Indians, reducing its visibility to just big roles. So when Indians started to write, they reconfigured the setting and the role of characters, giving them the agency so that India could express itself through its own eyes and not through the eyes of British imperialism. And that is very important. I mention this for the simple reason that we are here at DAV school. And if I remember right, if I'm not entirely wrong, that is, DAV was founded way back in 1887. Is that right? Oh well, 1886. Okay, I got it by year wrong. What is important is that the founding of DAV was directly related to a cultural anti-colonialism. And that is precisely why I said what I did. So the point now is it necessary to learn, speak, and be creative in English in post-colonial India, post-independent India, when, of course, that English, as we assume, will not actually represent India's aspirations. After all, this is what decolonization means. The next question that arises is English a foreign language today? From the official and institutional point of view, English is grouped together with other modern European languages, and many central and state universities have made their centers English and modern European language as departments. So let me interrogate the second question that I asked. I think the relative importance of English is overwhelmingly greater than any other modern European language. And secondly, English is found at home in India to occupy a significant place among other Indian languages. This may be gauged by the fact that 12.18% of Indians speak English in India, which is more than twice the population of the United Kingdom, where English was born, and second only to the United States. Now, in a country of wonderful linguistic diversity, English, as a result of its history, has emerged as a language of administrative, judicial, and academic cohesion. The culture industry has been quick to form this advantage. This may be probably noticed when you're walking down a marketplace that you see a number of commercial signboards that are in English. This is not only true of metropolitan and urban locations, but it is not surprising to find full moon haircutting saloon written in English in rural India. Sometimes, of course, full and saloon are spelled incorrectly in accordance with the phonological characteristics of the local language speakers. When babies are born, and occasionally before they are born, parents worry about their child's admission into good English medium schools. Products are advertised in English. Healthcare is advertised in English, including indigenous cures for COVID-19 and monkeypox. Even Hindi films are advertised in English. The media spin doctors very cleverly mix codes to attract customers in the language they understand, with lifestyle choices that constitute their aspirations. So one of the things that was mentioned today by somebody was that people have stopped reading, or they don't read as much as they should. This is something, the fallacy of this is something that I'd like to point out. According to the India Market Report 2016, India is the sixth largest publisher of the world overall, and the second largest publisher in the world for English language books. And what is very, very interesting is that on an average, an Indian reads around 2.1 books a week, according to the World Culture Score Index. And Indians spend more time reading than their counterparts globally. So this is something rather optimistic and which we should not actually discard. Now, very simply, English studies, it comprises two distinct areas of emphasis. As a subject, comprising literature, criticism, translation, area studies, and so on. This is largely content-based. Learning a language or some other areas of L1, first language, is a tool for communication, is more like learning to ride a bicycle or to swim. It is skill-based. The four skills that comprise this process are commonly referred to LSRW: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. When we require L1, when we talk of L1, that is the input skills, which we get through reading and listening. Okay, these occur naturally, but the output skills, which are, of course, reading and writing, they need to be developed consciously. Reading and writing meet pedagogic and institutional demands. So you come to school, you read, you write. You go to college, university, that is what you do. But in today's world of communication networks, listening and speaking are of utmost importance. There's a person called Leonardo who talks about the idea of building a cultural capital. Now, what is this business of cultural capital? Education, intelligence, knowledge of art forms, dress, speech, physical appearance. Hence, proficiency in language skills is a major determinant in building cultural skills, which are essential for employment, social, and lifestyle inclusions. So, it is wonderful that we've had a morning in which students have come and expressed themselves. They have obviously do have immense potential, but please remember, carry this forward because literature ultimately, and which is a very significant cultural form, this will take you a long way to build a better world, to build yourself as a wonderful human being, and also to recognize and respect the embodied other, which means that we are not inward looking, we look towards inclusion of everybody globally to be able to respect them. And by respecting others, you respect yourselves. Thank you very much.
Sir, we are spellbound to listen to you. And definitely sharing your knowledge about English language and literature will benefit our students. Now next, DAV Parsa Bazaar, participants from DAV Parsa Bazaar, Shreya Parmar, Ayushita, Vijayalakshmi Singh, Shrishti Trivedi. Be yourself above all. Let who you are, what you believe, shine through every sentence. You write every piece you finish. Shreya Parmar, I invite you here for story presentation from Dairy Public School, Parsa Bazaar.
Good morning, one and all present over here. This is me, Shreya Parmar from DAV Public School, Parsa Bazaar, standing here right before you to recite a recital that was based on my story, Your Superpower. Let's get started. The story starts here. This is the story of two friends, Suresh and Rama. Both were friends, whose friendship started in a hospital where both of them were admitted. Suresh had an attack of paralysis. Due to this, he couldn't move his finger and his entire body below the neck got paralyzed. Suresh, whenever any nurse come to him during the day, he would say, "Please nurse, give me some type of an injection so that I can die. I don't want to remain alive anymore. My life is nothing. He don't want to live anymore." Suresh had a friend, Ram, who used to stand by the window and tell him the view of outside. He would tell him what was the view going on. He would say, "Look at those beautiful sky. The sky is so blue. I really love it." He also used to tell him, "Some birds are flying and people are enjoying the sunset on the beach." After hearing all this, it didn't have much effect on his mind. Whose mind? Suresh's mind. But gradually, it had a biggest impact on his mind. What actually the impact was? He started waiting for his friend, that his friend will come and tell all about the story of the window, what is going outside, actually. But one day, his friend didn't come. He became sad. Who became sad? Suresh became sad. One day, his friend didn't come, and he became sad. Then he asked to the nurse, "Where is my friend? Whether he was discharged or not?" Then, nurse, after hearing all this words, he actually broke down into tears. But what he can do, as I have said, his desire to get up from that bed was so strong. He wanted to get up from that bed so immediately. He wanted to see the world on his own eyes, not by his friend. Right now, the situation was changed. He didn't have any friend to know what's going on outside as a result. But now, his desire was so strong. One day, what he actually did, let us know. One day, he tried all his heart to get up from the bed. Somehow, he managed to get up from the bed. And he did. As soon as he reached the window, nothing such as blue sky, people, and birds appeared, other than a black wall. He asked the nurse, "Nurse, where is the view? Blue sky and people?" Nurse was confused. She said, "Nothing such as blue sky, birds, and people. Since 5 years, there have been only this black wall." Then, "Oh, it's me, my friend Ramesh had to me. But why did he do so?" Then again, nurse replied, "I don't know exactly, sir, why he had lied to you, but his lie was the only reason you were standing here on your own legs. His lie was the only reason you were standing here on your own legs." So what we can conclude from the story? We can conclude from the story is we humans have enough capability to tackle any problem, catastrophe, and even with factor diseases. All we need to conquer our mind. If we have a strong will, we can win against any circumstances in our life. All we need to know our strength. Remember, each and everyone who is present over here, you all have strength. Even you don't know about it, but I know. You all have strength, you all have superpower that lies within you. Never forget your superpower. That's why we say, the greater the obstacle, the more ready to overcome it. The greater the obstacle, the more ready to be to overcome it. Thank you. I want to read my story. I want to know your superpower today. Thank you for having me. This is Miss Shreya.
Thank you, Shreya. Superpower, it's an inner strength everyone has. And one can overcome any obstacle if we face through our strong willpower. Next is Ayushita. Next is Ayushita from the Varsavada poetry recitation.
A very warm and cheerful good morning to one and all present over here. Myself, Aishita of Class 10 from DAB Public School, Barzar. Today I am blessed to have this golden opportunity to present my composition in front of you all. I am going to recite a self-composed poem. The title of the poem is Mistakes. Through this poem, I wanted the listeners to understand the value of mistakes in their life. Mistakes are also an important part of our life. Many people give up after doing some mistakes. And if you are one of them, then this poem is surely for you all. I hope that it motivates. Mistake is something we all make. Mistake is something we all make. But it's not a reminder to take us away. Making mistakes is always fine. Easy to find others, difficult to recognize mine. Mistakes are forgivable if we accept them. Mistakes are forgivable if we accept them. Remember, it's not a barrier to anyone's faith. We don't need to hide or bury them. I still remember my tries, how I tried to hide them. Sometimes they are a result of bad choice. Sometimes they are a result of bad choice. It doesn't mean you're not enough wise. Mistakes are natural, so we must proceed. Mistakes are natural, so we must proceed because it is necessary for us to succeed. We all live in a world of imperfect. We all are same. No one is great. After doing mistakes, should we cry and regret? It's never gonna help you. For it, I bet. By doing mistakes, we are so done. But without them, there will be no fun. Don't give up. Don't take a rest. Put your efforts and try your best. Sometimes, I think for my own sake, will I again do the same mistake? But mistakes are natural, so we must proceed because without them, we are never gonna succeed. Mistakes are seed of better life. Mistakes are seed of better life, but sometimes they haunt us, slaughtering knife. We don't need to hide or bury them. Actually, it's not a matter of shame. Never say that it's too late. Never say that it's too late. If you want, you can surely change your fate. We all are equal in every sense. We all are equal in every sense. Effort is the only thing that makes a difference. Success doesn't come through luck. Look at the past. Look at the past, learn from the mistakes, and be happy at last. Now I know what success actually takes. It's simple. Just learn from the mistakes which you ever made. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayushi. Really, the mistakes are great teachers. Next participant from DAV Pasavadar, Vijayalakshmi Singh, poetry recitation. After Pasavadar, DAV Palanga, two participants, you are be ready.
Good morning, one and all present here. My name is Vijayalakshmi Singh, and I am here from DAV Public School, Pasavadar. So I'm going to present my self-composed poem. I think my composition would be very easy for all students present here in order to understand, because I think every student can connect with the lines. This poem basically talks about what does a student think when he or she is depressed or is surrounded by anxiety or exam pressure. This is just a simple conversation between the person and his subconscious mind. The title of my poem is I Dread. Here the conversation goes like that. A girl knocked when I was asleep. It felt like mine, but the hurt was asleep. I heard her voice. I heard sorry. I looked at her eyes, it was shining. I heard a giggle, it made me smile. For a second I thought it's me, but then found about it as mine. Set me free, something strange. Hands of hope, reaching me its seal. My eyes illusion, at that is thick seal. Waiting for her to say something, but all she did was smile and shine. Then suddenly things got still. Swinging off her skirt, her hair flying. All this felt like it was a dream. Her eyes filled with mine, felt like she had my face. Then again she smiled. Suddenly she stretched her hand. It felt like she had my mind. I asked help. She said, take mine. I asked help. She said, take mine. It's not towards the power. It's not towards the power. Said mercy. My smile is yours. Your pain is mine. I am good. That's all of my poem. Thank you.
Thank you. Next last participant from DAV Pasavadar is Srishti Deveti, poetry recitation.
A very warm and cheerful good morning to one and all present over here. I'm Srishti Deveti of class 10 from DAV Pasavadar, standing before you to recite the self-composed poem. And the title of my poem is Just Like Happiness. Through this poem, I want to convey that happiness and sorrow both are the parts of our life, just like summer and monsoon. We have to face them, but the only thing that matters is how we deal with them. So, hope this poem helps. The fielding and the cold monsoon, the fielding and the cold monsoon, and heavy fallen rain. Though storms hit hard and thunder scales, though storms hit hard and thunder scales, the soothing sound of raindrops washes away the rain. Just like happiness, it happens. In the coldest nights, with the sight of moon. In the coldest nights, with the sight of moon, wishing no summer, just monsoon. The clouds come floating, carrying the rain. The clouds come floating, carrying the rain. Monsoon is desired again and again. Just like happiness, it happens. The broken umbrella and the torn shoes. The broken umbrella and the torn shoes. Rain is the one thing we cannot replace. The red hot sun that cools the moon. The red hot sun that cools the moon hides in the shade when it monsoons. Just like happiness, it happens. In the coldest nights when the storm starts, in the coldest nights when the storm starts, I have seen my dreams falling apart. In the silence of darkness, the stars blaze. In the silence of darkness, the star blaze. Those were the nights when I hid my heart. Just like happiness, it happens. In spite of darkness, I begin to see. In spite of darkness, I begin to see. Indeed, I was losing faith in. But I didn't think I didn't cry. I didn't think I didn't cry. I rebuilt my dreams staying away. Just like happiness, it happens. I was lonely at night. I had demons to fight. I was lonely at night. I had demons to fight. I was searching for hope under the moonlight. I was trying to pick myself to restart. I was trying to pick myself to restart. To rebuild my dreams, I convinced my heart. Just like happiness, it happens. Thank you.
Very well expressed. Next participant is from DAV Public School, Palanga, DAV Public School, Palanga, Ananya Kumari of Class 6. Story presentation.
Someone has rightly said, never get upset with God discipline, because He offered you with something you deserve and which is best for you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ananya of Standard 6 from DAV Palanga, and I am going to narrate a short story, Man proposes and God disposes, in front of you all. There was a man who was a believer of God. He used to thank God every day for everything. He was a very spiritual and kind. But sometimes, when things do not work according to his will, he gets upset and doubts if God loves him. The man was working in a company where his destination as well as his salary was not satisfactory. So he was thinking for applying for a better job, and he was trying very hard for a new job. One day, when he finally got the opportunity to apply for the job, which he wanted to become very happy, and he prepared everything, which was needed for applying in the interview. The day he was having his interview, his alarm unexpectedly goes off and he fell asleep. Suddenly, when he woke up, he saw that it is 7 o'clock already and he was very late for the interview. So, he hurried and got off on his motorcycle. Unfortunately, his motorcycle was punctured. So, he thought of taking bus to reach his destination. But he missed the bus and did not reach to the interview on time. He became very angry and thought God is not helping him in any way. The next day, when he woke up, he saw the news that the job was applying for was fake and the company was corrupted. He missed have meet into an accident. Now, understood that God was Bharat. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
A young budding writer, Shreya believes in ultimate reality. It is the Lord who saved the man. Next it is Ananya. After Ananya, Saloni Kumari of class 6, poetry recitation from DAV Palanga.
Good morning, everyone, respected principal, teachers, and good morning, everyone, respected principal, teachers, and prestigious guests. My name is Saloni. I am the student of Standard 6 from DAV Palanga. I am going to recite a poem about my school. Under the blue sky of hope and the winds of happiness blowing, there resides a place in the city with bright future showing. We are taught to paint and print the colors very neat, and that's how we learn in the mistakes we shouldn't repeat. The place that taught us that it is essential for each one of us to know our potentials. With the lessons of gratitude and respect on life's way, stronger we become, grounded we remain. The place that gave us wings to fly higher, to win the world, which is fire. With lots love, care, blessings and protection, one day we will leave the place of affection. Leaving the school to get in the life's race, one of the hardest things we gonna face. Keeping all the teachers' love and teaching beside, we will be chasing our dreams, but our school in our hearts always decides. Under the blue sky of hope and winds of happiness flowing, there resides a place in the city with bright future showing. Thank you.
Thank you, Saloni. You love your school and your topic was your school. Next participant is from DAV Public School, Transport Nagar, Sonavi Jayansh from class 8, poetry recitation.
A wonderful morning to everyone who is here. I am Sonavi Jayansh from the Geography. From the DAV Public School, Transport Nagar, Hyderabad, Patna. Today, I will be presenting a self-composed poem. The title of this poem is It's a Plea. It's a plea. It's a request. People call me a tree. Often, my branches dance in the street. I have a lot of work, all offline. Working online, not mine. I cook food. I bring rain, I get shade. Still, you kill me and your bungalows are made. Earth may smile with less human population. Earth may smile with less human population. Without me, can you imagine any of the nations? What you prefer? Dancing in the drizzle, wetting in rain, or sitting idle again and again? Increase my number, income from slumber. You man, pity man, you man, save me, don't kill me, don't be that mean. See green, live green, and go green. Away from the street, away from the street, away from the street. Thank you.
Very well presented on the relevant issue, protection of the trees. Next participant from DAV Transport Nagar is Pragya from class 8, story presentation. Direction of the story.
Good afternoon to everyone who DAV Public School, Transport Nala. I am going to say a self-written story. Name of this my story is The Colorful Body. This is the story of a girl named Vanika who studied in class 8. Vanika was very kind, creative and intelligent girl. She always got good marks and stood first in her school. She was very fond of doing something creative. Whenever she started making something creative, she tripped into another world. One day, she was sleeping. Suddenly, she heard someone's voice. She woke up. She was surprised to saw an old, ugly woman standing in front of her. She was very scared from her. The old lady said, "My dear child, don't be scared from me. I am like your friend." After listening this, Vanika got relaxed and asked, "Why you have come here? What do you want?" The old woman replied, "I want nothing, my dear. I came here to take you." "Where?" she asked intently stubborn. "In a different world," replied the woman. "In a different world? Which kind of world is this?" "A world full of colors and art," she replied. Vanika asked, "A world where there is only color and art? Yes, will you come with me?" The old lady said, spreading a big smile on her face. Yes, I have to here." Saying this, she starts jumping. The old woman took out a magic wand from her pocket and said, "Speak with me, darling. Our flying kites will come to us soon. Take us to the colorful world." As they say, there's a cloud-like flying kite come to them. Then both of them sat on it and reached to the colorful world. After going there she saw a lot of artwork. The woman also showed her a coat of color. She asked, "Can I go inside it?" "Yes, of course, my darling," replied the old woman. As she entered in it, she blossomed, and she had seen a heaven. There were lots of people with all kinds of colored garments. She looked at each color in turn and drew a beautiful picture of the old lady. On seeing the picture, the old woman becomes a beautiful fairy. Vanika asked, surprisingly, "How did you suddenly become such a beautiful angel? What's your name?" The fairy replied, "I am the angel of color. You can call me as Fairy Mother. I was given a curse by a witch. Because of that curse, I had become an old woman. The witch had said to me that this curse will only end when someone comes to this world and makes a picture of me. It makes my picture. That you have done today. Thank you. I will never forget this favor of yours. Go, my child, take whatever you want." Vanika took some colors and art materials. Just a playground. The fairy said, "My dear baby girl, you have to go now." She becomes very sad and started crying. She cried and said, "I'm going to leave you." Fairy explained to her that anyone who comes here can only stay here for a certain period of time. Hearing this, Vanika hugged the fairy and said, "I will never forget you." After saying this, her sleep broke open and she saw that she was on her bed in her room. She saw neither there were any color nor any art material. Then she came to know that it was a dream. She immediately got up, got ready, and went to her school. She told everything about her dream to her friends. I hope that you all enjoy my listening to this story. Thank you.
Thank you. Next participant from DAV Transport Nagar is Vishravi Bharati. Poetry and recitation.
Good afternoon, respected principal, teachers, students, and my dear friends. I am Rishi Bharti of class 9 of Dr. G. Dassaji Public School Transport Nagar, Sampath, Patna. And today I am here standing in front of you to share a poem named A Future World. There will be blood, tears, and there will be fight and There will be blood and tears and there will be fight and fear. A world different from now, there will be pains with you. A world formed of previous way, a world in fire or in purity. For all I can tell you is that will be a world you can't see. Or all I can tell you is that will be a world you can't see. When demons will walk the earth, when devils will be running from hell, and angels will feel pain. And so, this morning was story to tell, when archangels will fall from grace, when celestials will not be the God's peace. That world will be ruled by falling, a world God driven by love for the hate. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Picture world. Last participant is Utkarsh Anand, narration of story.
Good morning, everyone. I am Utkarsh Anand, studying in class 8 from the Public School of Transport Nagar. Today I am here to present a story about afterlife. This story begins with God saying, "Oh, you are here, let's begin," to a girl named Whitney. The girl asks, "Who are you and where am I?" God then says, "You are dead and you are in the afterlife." The girl then says, "If I am dead, how am I talking to you?" The God says, "You are in a soul form now, and you are also suffering from a phenomenon called the afterlife amnesia, where you forget everything about your earthly life, and now you are just left with some knowledge about mathematics, languages, and etc." Vicky then asks, "God, did I accomplish life on earth?" God then said, "I don't know. It's up to you to decide." Vicky then asked, how can you not know? You are the Almighty. Please help me." Then God said, "I am not here to tell you the answer. I am just here to guide you to it." Then God said, "Whitney, you are not different to me than this candle right here. You are both made up of particles. The difference is you can talk to another human, but a candle cannot talk to another candle." Whitney then went to a park and sat on a bench and started thinking. I did not have lots of manners and shapes like many famous people, but I enjoyed my life, as God earlier said to me. But does this mean I did the accomplished life? And annoyed with me, then went to God again and asked, "Please tell me, please, I beg you, did I live an accomplished life?" God then said, "Once again, Whitney, here I am not allowed to beg you. You have to figure it out for yourself." A tired Whitney then thought, I do not know whether I was liked or hated by people on earth, but I have a life ahead of me in the afterlife. So it doesn't really matter if I live an accomplished life on earth, because I have a eternal world of happiness here, and I will live every moment of it and enjoy it. Thank you. The end.
Thank you, Utkarsh. A writer is writer, not because she writes well, easily because she has amazing talent. A writer is writer because even when there is no hope, even when nothing you do shows any sign of promise, you keep writing anyway. I'm privileged to introduce you to another eminent literary personality, a wonderful person. Her type are so rare, so humble and charming. A pleasure to meet a wonderful person, indeed one who is not burdened by conceit or by the beautiful one with a beautiful smile. She's none other than Dr. Muniba Sami. A big round of applause for her. Dr. Muniba Sami is a retired faculty member in the Department of English, Patna University, and has taught undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral coursework classes for more than 47 years. Since her superannuation, she has been guest faculty at the PG Department of English, Patna University, the IQASC, coordinator at St. Xavier's College, and guest faculty at Patna Women's College. She has facilitated and lectured at seminars and workshops in English, language and literature, communications, and in the theatre as a resource person for British Council, American Center, UGC, and cultural institutions. She is educated. In 1999, she was nominated for contributions to education and to society. Sponsored nominee from India. The Frank Anthony Excellence Award was conferred on her in 2008 in recognition for her contribution to the theatre. Dr. Sami has authored, edited, and contributed to a number of books that include Postmodern Gandhi in Life and Literature, A Slice of Life, Erasing Barricades, Gandhi and His Soul Force Mission, the Indian English Novel Today, Women Through the Ages, and a collection of English poetry. I'm extremely privileged, ma'am, to invite you, and let me speak to you that I was a student in Patna Women's College, and she is my guru. What she taught us in the college days has still imprinted on my mind. She's also an alumni of St. Joseph's Convent, Patna, the school from where I studied. So we are alumni, ma'am. I'm really privileged to honor you, to invite you here, and we are eager to listen to you. A big round of applause for Monica. Thank you.
Thank you, Benita. I'll call you Benita. Since you have been my student, thank you so much. I would like to thank Dr. M.K. Das for inviting me here today to be part of this beautiful conclave, literature conclave. I would also like to thank Ms. Nikita Singh and Ms. Vinita Sharma for coming to our place to invite us. And what I appreciated about the invitation was not only the invitation letter, but they came with 2 bouquets of flowers. And I love flowers, so I'm delighted. And I couldn't possibly say no to them after that. Not that I had any intentions of saying no, but that added that little extra magic to their invitation. I will not take very long because we had so many speeches and so on. I would like to comment upon this very idea of this literature conclave, where the students are encouraged to read and write. And I was simply delighted when Dr. Das told us the background to this gathering. I found in the speeches, the stories and the poetries that the students have recited, they have taken themes which are serious, which are thought-provoking, and while they recited their stories and poems, they made me think too. So I was amazed at your performance, And I was delighted to find that some of you have written your own poems, which is even better. And I cannot help but mention the students of Varsa Bazaar especially, who was simply wonderful. I think they should be held up as role models for creative writing, and particularly Shreya, I think. It was Shreya perhaps who told us the story of the two friends. Uh, she is a good storyteller. So where is Shreya? Is she here? You know this. Please give her a hand. We should learn how to tell. Please sit down. We should learn how to tell a story the way she has. So animated, going at the right pace. So speaking is also very important. How you deliver your speech so that you have a captive audience who listen to you. Professor Dutt has already spoken about the English language and the importance of English language, which is a global language now. And I would just like to add to what he said earlier, is that now, since English is a global language, you have different kinds of Englishes. You have, of course, the British English, you have the American English, you have Indian English. So English in India is no longer a foreign language. At one point of time, it used to be a foreign language, but now English is one of the languages. English has found its home in India. So it would be wrong now to describe English as a foreign language. You have Canadian English, you have Australian English, and they all each are developing in their own way, having different idioms and different meanings. They use words differently. So keep that in mind when you talk about English as a global language. It's truly a global language. I will now dwell on the literature part of it. Why literature? Why do you study literature? English, of course, one can understand. But what does literature do for people? Does it have any use? It doesn't make anything. Of course, we teachers of English like to defend literature by saying that books, storybooks, poems, and so on, they teach us human values. And they also, through the presentation of human values, they make you better human beings. You notice that preference in to the STEM subjects, that is science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and they also, in the perception of society, are considered to be, within quotes, superior to the humanities. They say that, especially in literature, what is literature? It's just a story. You just tell a story. And in the exam, you just write down the story and that's it. So what is literature? Now this is an old debate, right from the 19th century England, where you have this debate with regard to the introduction of English at the university level. You know that in Oxford and Cambridge, Oxford did not have English, it had other subjects. You know the Oxford University, how old it is. It's, I think it was established around the end of 12th century AD. And Cambridge University a little later. So these universities, such age-old universities, did not have English as a subject. It is only in the mid for early part of the 19th century that English was introduced as a subject in other universities that came up in England. But Oxford and Cambridge refused to have English because the question arose, how do you evaluate literature? How do you evaluate literature? See, with history, with other subjects, political science and so on, are based on so-called facts, and that also is questionable. Because facts, in the world of post-truth, what are facts? Facts are also constructed. They are constructs. However, let's take it for granted that they are facts. So you can evaluate these subjects, you can evaluate mathematics, you can evaluate science subjects. But how do you evaluate literature? It's so subjective. So when I get the answers, I've been a teacher for almost half a century. So when we teachers evaluate and the other teachers here who are teaching in the English language, how do you evaluate literature? It is subjective. So what is, and then secondly, not only is it subjective, but what is the point of learning literature? One can understand learning English because it's a global language. But what about literature? What does it do for you? There is one anecdote that a teacher who was expounding on the benefits of literature, that the literature teaches you core human values. Of course, literature also mirrors life. Books mirror life, poetry mirrors life. But it also incorporates human values and it is assumed to make you a better person. So this teacher was talking about justifying the inclusion of literature in the syllabus on these grounds. Then someone in the audience asked, the person asked, what will you ask the teacher? What will you make, like engineers, for example, or doctors, they contribute something solid, something concrete to the society. Engineers make bridges and so on. So this person asked the teacher of English, what will you make? So what do teachers of literature make? Can you answer that question? What do teachers of literature make? And the second question that the man asked was, what's your product? Now you know that in our world is ruled by monetary and economic concerns. So we have to be practical. If we make something, we get paid for it. But teaching of literature doesn't seem to make sense. It doesn't seem to mean anything. So this teacher later on pondered over this question and then gave it a lot of thought, and she decided that teachers of especially English literature make knowledge. And they produce knowledge about literature. Now you ask me, what is this knowledge? What knowledge is literature making? Who interprets this knowledge? And for what is it used? And this is where now literature today is informed by what is known as literary theory, which means basically that teachers teach students close reading of the language. Language is so important that teachers give us the tools. The teachers of literature give us tools for analysis. How does this piece of literature make reading? How does it produce reading? What is the method and so on? And this act, this very act of meaning making becomes very important in today's world because meaning is all the time shifting. It's not fixed. There is a play of meanings, and so there is so much of misunderstanding in the world today. So what literature does is to give us the tools of analysis, and it makes readers, by readers I mean not just reading a book or reading aloud, reading a book aloud, but informed reading. So in conclusion, I would like to say, readers are not consumers, they are the ones in the fire. Thank you.
Very well said, ma'am. Readers are not the consumers. They carry fire to ignite the society. They make knowledge your expertise. You shared your knowledge, ma'am, as an eminent literary personality to the students. Definitely it's going to benefit them. Now next, again I'm inviting the young narrators from DAV Public School, IGIS, Aditi Anand of Class 7 for poetry recitation. Aditi Anand.
Good morning, Mr. President, teachers, guests, and all the students that are present here. I am Aditi Anand from Class 7 of DAV IGNS. I am standing here to recite a poem that is written by me. The title of my poem is Being in Underwater. Being underwater is like a dream. You see everything you've never seen. Underwater, there is me, a drowning person with no dreams. Traveling alone, I flip, I float, but then I see a young man in a boat. He had beautiful shiny hair, but he didn't seem to care. He had his eyes closed and had his hands on his back as he posed. As he looked around and saw me rolling, I could feel his stars coming. But without a thought, he jumped in the ocean. I felt myself frozen. I could swim, but he carried me in his arms. His eyes were shining like the sun. I fainted after that. He held me there and we began to chat. He told me he was going home and he looked really alone. We became best friends. I told him our friendship would never end. Now I'm writing this alone, wondering how no one else could feel it. But I saw him every day from my window, sitting on a stone. In the depth of my mind, I still wonder while dreaming things if I saw the ghost of him. If he never drove would he still be my friend if he never drove while scaring me? Being underwater is like a dream. You see things you've never seen. Thank you.
Thank you. Next participant from DAV IGIMS. Please come here. Aritrika Singh, poetry recitation. Aritrika.
As we know that examination in our life is very important to judge ourselves, but at the same time, it's too scary to appear in the examination. Good morning, respected principal, teacher, guests, and all the students that are present here. I am Aritrika Singh from Class 7 from DAV I am standing here to deliver poem. The title of my poem is Examination. Examination, oh examination. What a big tension. Studying whole night, sleeping and eating don't mention in the list. Watching the whole subject whole night. Not for a single minute I can lay. But fearing my father, nothing can I say. So better examination. Examination, oh examination. Don't come again. At last exam, the tension of result we get. No sharpness and no rulers to be spent. Thank you.
So you're scared of examination should take place, isn't it? Aratrika, and no results. Next it is Tamki Moda, poetry recitation. And last is Anjali Pratap Singh.
Good morning, everyone. I am Conclave from class 6A studying in Wait. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am Conclave from class 6A studying in DAP. Today, I have got the golden opportunity to recite a poem in front of you. The title of the poem is School. The best place is school. The place where I have made my first friend is school. The place where I have learned about discipline is school. The place where I have learned to care everyone is school. For some students, school life will be hard, but for me, it's like playing with cars. Some of my friends are not with me, but the knowledge I have gained from school is still with me. Thank you.
Thank you. Your best friend is school. You love your school. And the last participant from DAV-IGIMS, Anjali Pratap Singh, poetry recitation from class 6.
Good morning, everyone. I am Anjali Pratap Singh from class 6, student of DAV-IGIMS. I have golden opportunity to recite the poem in front of you, and the title of my poem is My School. School is the temple where the students get the will to become perfect from birth. Teachers are the friendly people who teach every child equal. Our principal is the head who keeps all of us in the shed. Most important are the friends with whom our lives start and end. I am very thankful for studying in a school. Thank you.
Thank you. We all miss our school days. Well said that school is our best friend. Now last is from the whole school, DAV BSEB, from DAV BSEB, Khushi Raj, from Standard 11, Khushi Raj, poetry recitation.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'll be reciting the poem written by myself, titled From Religion to Responsibility. As the drilling wind blew in the parky morning, her mind was indulged with plenteous reminiscences. The bloodshed days is still scrawling. She was humiliating my question to ask. Can we sincerely accept, I don't know? Or it is that onerous a task. The pain abhorrence has inflicted shall be relieved. Only when we seek the truth, there is nothing to be believed. Can we stop to imbue the mind with a noble vanity of its own superiority? Can it just be a numerical distinction, the majority and the minority? And avoiding testimony the bloodshed goes to the fact that religion is now a fester disease. A potent woman in the armory of life is tranquility. Can just move from religion to responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Khushi. Next, Pranav Tiwari, from class 12, Pranav Tiwari.
Good morning to one and all present. I am Pranav Tiwari, student of 12th E, and present here to narrate short story titled Speak Before It's Too Late. I was preparing my presentation, and news of my mom's death came to me. My father, my old God, rejected me for me. Your mom is known. I was so devastated to hear this that I felt ground was slipping under my feet. All the past events that I was trying to forget or had forgotten became fresh. 3 years ago, my mom and I were in constant conflict over my decision to pursue photography instead of joining family business with farming. The small issue grew so intense that my mother refused to give me any support if I decided to pursue photography. Tension and conflict accompanied by small and big arguments grew to such extent that I decided to run away from my home. I left my home and moved to Delhi, where I took part-time job to support my studies of photography. All these memories were coming alive as my breath was getting heavy. Somehow, I managed to regain my lost consciousness in order to go back home. To say last goodbye to my mom. I immediately booked next day's morning flight to my home, Kolkata. I could not sleep broad and night as my emotions were high. While boarding the plane, I thought it was a one day when I left the same home to pursue my photography, to which I am returning today as a professional photographer. To say last goodbye to my mom. This thought was quite uncanny. After landing in Kolkata, I immediately took my cab. When I reached my home, I felt unusual pain in my heart. Although my hand was shaking, I somehow must have enough courage to ring the bell. My father opened the door. He impressed the infant and said, "Talk of your house kept in peace. Before you go there, read the letter that your mom has given to you just before her death." I was highly shocked to see the letter that my mom had written for me. As I opened the letter, tsunami of emotion flooded my mind. The letter. My dear Golu, I always wanted you to be successful in your life. I was against your dream of photography, as I was afraid that you would fail in a career just like your father, who failed as a painter. I don't want you to go through the suffering that your father had undergone. But now, seeing you as a professional photographer, I feel proud and happy. I miss you a lot. I love you. Please come back soon. As I read the whole letter, realization dawned upon me. I said to myself, I misunderstood you, Ma. I misunderstood you. I could no longer hold the feeling that I was trying to do. I ran to the next room and tried with a full strength. I held my Ma and said, I should have spoken to you, Ma. I love you, Ma. Please come back. Please come back. Please come back.
Clearly, now your story full of emotions, but imagination which stirs one to write a story. Next it is Disha Shegamani. Disha Shegamani from class 12.
Words are the best way to portray feelings. With this thought, I have written this poem. Good morning to all the people present here. I am Disha Shiromani of class 12. The title of my poem is The Words That Were Never Spoken. Deciding to bend, she took out a paper and pen, penning down the reasons to live and die the same. The reasons were few to live and solidified her disease and visit. She decided she'll take her life. She'll end her mystery, stop the fight. For she can no longer take the memories of that night, chasing in vain. The look of pity from her loved ones and that of disgust from several others. The flames of teach she has never done. Yes, she didn't ask anyone to touch her without her permission. She lost her virtue at the hands of fate, and people blamed the clothes she wore that day. She cherished life like everyone else. Then why was she the only one put to test? She screamed at them to hear her plea that she is the victim. Those men shouldn't be free. They pulled her in a van before she could run, sealed her mouth and said, "Don't worry, they'll be fine." Getting out of the van, she tried to run. One of them caught her hand, slapped her, and others split the shame. No
crying and encouraged the doctor. A nurse asked her, how does she feel? She didn't reply because none was she felt. Police ignored her plea. Those men laughed at her, saying she deserved it. A week to that day, she is sitting at her desk, slitting her wrist as the blood trickled by. She felt free, knowing she is going to die. Her parents came into the street, but too late they were. For what left now was the paper, pen, and the words that were never spoken. Thank you.
Shekha. The pain, suffering, are the most relevant issue. That is, girls are not safe, has been very beautifully read by you in form of poetry. Next it is Aruni.
A very warm and pleasant good morning to one and all present here. I am Anandi of Standard 1283, standing in front of you to tell my story, which is written on the tree over the moon. This story is about a beautiful relationship between a father and a daughter. The story finally on a much-awaited day. But my dear, Michael Jackson is not coming to the city tomorrow. You might be daydreaming. Know that tomorrow is the day when I met you. It's my birthday. Oh, I remember it came last year. Yes, and that's the speciality of birthdays. They came every year. Oh, I think I forget it. He laughed. Tell me, what are you going to prepare for me on my birthday? Are you secretly planning a surprise for me? My dear, if it is a secret, then why will I share it with you? He laughed again. He always laughed at his own jokes. The next day, he prepared for my daughter's birthday. He made a pair of shoes with the symbol of Regent Moon, space shuttle, engraved on white leather with the finest finishes. They were one of the best shoes he ever made in his profession. The room was decorated with fairy lights, moonflowers, stars, and curtains of universe scenery. He lifted up a little bunch of happiness in the air and hugged. The father-daughter duo enjoyed the beautiful evening to the fullest. On that eve, the little girl made a promise to her father that your moon will go to the moon, she will go to the space. But remember, my dear, you can't reach to the space or to the moon by your school bus. They both had a good laugh on it. Days gone, months gone, years gone. Calendars changed, but one thing remains the same. The promise of the beautiful, cute girl. Now, both of them had grown up. She had decided to pursue astrophysics from the University of Harvard and then towards NASA and finally to her dear aim. This journey seemed simple, well planned, and real, but it was not good. The journey was a roller coaster ride for his entire life. She used to work day and night, but could not clear the entrance of the university, even appearing for the drawings. Her depression, anxiety, stress, and demotivation was evident in her face and her behavior. So one day, his father went to her and asked, "What are you preparing for? What are you working for day and night?" For this, she replied, "For fulfilling my dreams." "What are your dreams?" "To meet your Hollywood crush." She said that, "You know very well, I want to explore the world. I want to explore the solar system, the universe." But his father replied, "You are forgetting, this universe is already yours." "Dad, please stop it. Let me prepare for the test. Now just go down and let me be alone." This was the reply. She was never too rude before. The next day was her 25th birthday. She didn't return to her home that night and stayed at the library. The cold morning of the 11th January marks the darkest day of her life. inform me without taking me. I miss him every day. I found a briefcase in his cupboard. It was the collection of all the shoes, all the footwears, which I had never broken. Surprisingly, all of them were mended. In middle of those footwears, I found my pair of boots, the gift which I received on my 5th birthday. People will keep their received gifts with them, but here, my father kept my gift with himself. The dream of my eyes was not just mine. He shared the same with me. From then, there was no looking back. The moment I put my first step on the moon, I felt like he had elevated me again. In his arms, he was waiting for me, wondering when my school bus would come. Miss Noor ended her words at the ceremony of National Award. The surprise she received on her 6th birthday gave her the hope when she lost everything on the 26th birthday. That surprise, that gift, and that motivation was the reason why this world calls her the youngest woman who at the age of 28 went on the exploration of the Earth's natural satellite, spending 8 days and making a list of various new discoveries. Thus, this shows how a father and a daughter do complete their dreams which they share together. Thank you and have a nice day.
With your story, Arti. We have an eminent journalist as a distinguished guest today. From moments of grand celebration to times of despair and tragedy, journalism is the preserver of crucial moments in history. Journalism is first rough draft of history. Journalism is the ability to meet challenge of filling space. I'm honored to introduce Senior Assistant Editor, the Indian Express, Mr. Santosh Singh, as one of the distinguished guests since 2008. He has 25 years of experience in journalism. He has worked in the leading esteemed dailies, the Telegraph Patna, the Statesman, New Delhi and Bhopal, the Asian Age, New Delhi. Books, Ruled of Misruled, The Story and Destiny of Bihar, Bloomsbury, 2015. Its Hindi version, Kitna Raj, Kitna Kaj, in print. JP to BJP, Bihar after Lalu and Nitish. Vikasha Stage Select. Kamdev Singh, the original godfather of Indian politics, Harper Collins, India, 2022. He has been awarded the Indian Express Award for Excellence in Investigative Journalism 2021, COVID Data Part Series, Red Ink Award 2019, Muzaffarpur Shelter Series, Red Ink Award 2018, Shijun Scam, Press Council of India Award for Development Journalism in 2013, Mahadalit Scam Series, Express Excellence Award 2012 in Mahadalit Series, Statesman Rural Reporting Award, first prize in 2010 for a set of 4 development stories, KC Pulish International Award, Excellence in Print Journalism in 2009 for an RTI story on 42 people harassed for seeking RTI, Rishabh Sri Award, Samman 2002 for an agriculture report. He has done his Masters of Journalism and Mass Communications from Nalanda Open University and gold medalist in it, postgraduate diploma in journalism from Asian College of Journalism, Bangalore, BA Honours English Literature from TNP College, Bangalore. He has made his appearances in Kalinga Literary Festival, thelalantalk.com, Satya Hindi, Ashutosh Kibar, 4 p.m., Lutyens Adda News, 18 Bihar, Jharkhand, ZTV Bihar, NDTV, the Indian Express videos and podcast, News Law. Privileged to invite you, sir, an eminent journalist, author of many books. He has won many awards. We are eager to listen to you. So please, you are invited on the stage. You are none other than Mr. Santosh Singh from the Indian Express, senior staff editor, Mr. Santosh Singh. So please.
Dr. Geeta Sharma, thanks a lot for such glowing words. Already on the other side of the mind. Dr. M. Das, Dr. Sundar Asif Dutt, Dr. Muniva Sami, teachers, dear students, last but not the least, my wife, who is Vipla, and also a teacher, Chitra. It has been a very rewarding experience for me. I want to be in school all over again. I don't know whether I will get admission in this school or not, sir. But I have my representation here. I have my progressive team, my daughter, Shivangi Singh, who is now the student of this institution. She is a student of class 9. I want to begin with just two stories, one of mine, one of somebody else's. You have already heard our eminent guest, the scholars of English literature. I will not add. My job as a journalist is to simplify the story, to deconstruct, as said in the introduction. I have written 3 books. It's on politics, but it is written in simple language, simple English. You all can read it. At least any student from class 9 onwards can read it. And you would not have to look up any word in the dictionary for that. Because idea is to convey. So I was talking about my own story. As a student of class 10, then we call it intermediate. I was in a small town called Tarapur in Mumbai. I used to write poems in Hindi, mostly Hindi. Though this is a student of English literature, I would simultaneously read Hindi literature. My first great book I read was Rabindranath Tagore's Gora. It was the Hindi version translated by Sachidanand Bhattacharya. That left a great imprint on my mind, and my first poem came after that. So I would compose my poem, write it neatly in my diary. That diary is still preserved, still with me, and I would go to see my audience. And at times I would also go to the colleagues of my father. Then my father would tell them, discourage him. He is going astray. I didn't understand what he wanted to say. I know, we all know that science gives you money. But as Dr. Muniva Sami said, you can't define literature. You can't decide what literature gives you. I couldn't decide. But what I am today, whatever literature I have achieved today is all because of literature I studied in my early days. So that is how my story began. And it could be your story as well. I was very often reminded of a soft story by Our Lady's Struggle by de France, in which Anatole France says, he said, I don't know how to pray. His wife says, go to church and pray before God. And one day he goes to the church and tried it very hard. And the next day he starts juggling in the church. And then he said, this is what I can do best. So, my story or anybody else's story is of Our Lady's Journal. This is what we can do. What you can do as a student, if you have flair for literature, if you have flair for writing, I think with so much of social media around, it's just a mouse, I would not say mouse click away, even that thing is gone now. Just touch a button, touch your screen of mobile. So you can, let us not just talk about English literature. Let us talk about the world literature now. As Professor Dutt says, it's not just about English, no longer a foreign language. Very true, not at all a foreign language. You have its many versions, many accents. We always have problems with our accent. We try to imitate accent of British. Very often, I'm not able to watch English movie with American accent. And I was so, I in my brain with this language, I was averse to watching English movie till my son told me, okay Papa, why don't you watch English movie? Because I said I have to watch a lot of subtitles. Then slowly I started watching them and loved them, and I was exposed to the great world of English movie. Same is the story of English literature, Hindi literature, or whichever literature you are interested in. With Google around, Google is the new age guru. You find everything over there. You just have to ensure that your source is credible. Just you have to be wary of the WhatsApp University. And you also have to don't do plagiarism with so much around, so much expressions around in Google. You should not leave that up and you meet to yourself. That is not fair. I heard many poems by several students. It was a story of loss, grief, and a story about girl power, gender disparity, and so many emotions. I could sense that, I could understand where it comes from, and a boy recited a story about loss of mother. And it was very moving, very touching. And Dr. Das had called a girl and who had done great storytelling from this stage. So I am very touched, very honored to hear my suggestion is to you is to do a couple of things. You should try to write diaries. Diary not in the sense you should write it daily. Whenever you find something very powerful, suppose you go to any art, suppose you go to Rajgir, you see the class 3, you just come back and narrate your experience. It could be in form of prose, it could be in the form of poetry, anything. So you just record your powerful emotions. Share with others. We very often do not share, very often do not speak English in public because we are afraid of being judged. So don't be afraid of being judged. You just read aloud to yourself. If you are convinced that it's a good poetry, then I would say it's good poetry. In early stage, you have facilitation to learn great words. Instead of using the word wonder, you use the word chimera. And so many difficult. Instead of saying confused, you use bamboozle. So initial stage, you will come across so many difficult words. So allow them to come. But as time progresses, as you achieve maturity, it is the content that matters. Content is the real hero. Do not stop yourself from expressing. Wherever you want to express, of course not in school time, when say on Sunday, when you are with the friends, when you are having a pizza party, it could be about anything. I have written a poem on Doraemon. This is not the right platform that I should decide because time is just fleeting away. We are at 8-9. But it could be what I want to drive at that it could be about anything, about everything. When can any form, as a great American poet Ezra Pound said, defined poem, it's a permanent, it is a new which has permanent value. She could have said in different words, but this is the same. So it could be poetry, it could be prose, it could be any form of literature, it could be English, it could be Hindi. You just try out. I'm very happy and very proud to be here, and I would love to take your question during the interaction session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for guiding our students and telling them that they will write to you and they will definitely benefit by your expertise. The main purpose of this conclave, as our principal sir also said, that to benefit the students. Now it's time for interactive session between the eminent literary personalities and the students. So you are free to ask questions to our distinguished guest literary personalities. Students, interactive session it is. You can ask your questions.
Those who want to ask questions to these personalities, you may take the mic, Vivek sir has the mic. One by one, please ask questions. Sir and madam will respond.
Good morning, sir. I'm Simran and thank you for your valuable ideas. My question is for Monima ma'am. That as it comes to influence of the South Indian states to Indian traditions, like how they don't fail to respect every details of Indian culture, mostly the Sanatan one, but still they accept English over Hindi. Why?
Sorry, can you repeat that last part? I couldn't get you. Read it out slowly so that I can understand.
As it comes to influence of the South Indian states to Indian tradition, like how they don't fail to respect every details of Indian culture, mostly the Sanatan one, but still they accept English over Hindi. Why?
Why English is accepted?
Indian South Indian states.
Oh,
Not just South Indian states.
South Indian states and why?
Accept English over Hindi.
Why don't they accept English over Hindi? I think English is spoken in the South as well.
She needs to ask ma'am that why don't we accept other languages?
Why don't they? Why don't they accept other languages?
Other languages and they accept only English. That we want to ask.
I suppose because English is like a linked language. It acts as a link because the people in the South, they have different languages there. They find Hindi difficult. Hindi is not a dominant language in the South, whereas it is dominant in the North. And English is an old concept, I know, but English would act as a link language between the North and the South. So when I talk about English, I'm talking about Indian English. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you, ma'am.
You. I'm Rohit Pratap from class 9 SC and my question is from Shankar sir.
he said that the reading ratio has declined. So people don't feel very comfortable with English and they don't understand the emotion what the poet or the author wants to convey. So how can we deal with it?
I think you got me wrong. I noted some figures show actually that reading is on the rise rather than on the decline.
But many people like me feel it difficult to understand the emotion. So it is right and I understand, but how can we deal with it? Like those who don't understand English and don't feel the emotions of it.
You communicate so well in English. I'm surprised that you say that you don't understand English. Your feelings. Okay. Now, you see, one of the reasons why educational thinkers have said that the best education can actually be given through one's mother tongue. The reason why they say so is while the rational self can be developed through any language, the emotional self is better developed through the mother language, L1, basically. But let's not stop at that. Because any literature, okay, mediates with all other literatures. For example, you have Indian literature. When I talk about Indian literature, I include English literature, Hindi literature, Urdu literature, literatures from all over, Tamil literature, Oriya, Bangla, everything. Now look at the kind of influences that British literature, Russian literature, Latin American literature have had on all these literatures in India. Which obviously goes to show that once you get into the reading of it, the most important thing is reading. You will not be able to, shall we say, try and get into producing meanings in literature if you haven't been a reader for a long time. It takes time, it requires a great deal of effort. And once you put in that effort, I'm pretty sure that this issue that you have, the problem that you're facing at the moment, will probably disappear.
I got my answer.
Just a minute, I want to ask you something. Can you understand the emotions in Hindi literature?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
But you have problems with English?
No, I don't have problems in English, but many of my friends have problems in it, and especially the Biharis.
Especially
Biharis. People from Bihar.
people of Bihar. That must be because they sir will answer the question. That may be because they don't have enough command over the English language. If you don't have the vocabulary and don't have the command over the language, how will you understand the emotions if you can't understand the language? That's my take on it. Shankar sir will give his input.
One of the things that I've noticed about students is, how much time, for example, are you a science student? Right, I guess. So if you're a science student, how much time do you spend on the sciences when you're studying?
2 hours.
How much time do you spend reading literature?
Sir, if I read books, then I spend 30 minutes mostly.
30 minutes versus 2 hours, right? Start spending those 2 hours, see where you and your friends will be. As far as Bihar is concerned, very unfortunate, very, very unfortunately, there has been a lot of politics associated with the English language in this country.
There was a question that was asked about South India and why South Indians do not accept Hindi very easily. It's got to do with, the entire language struggles that have gone on. It's all about politics. South Indians have always felt that North India wants to politically dominate South India. So it's a question of identity because of the issue of cultural identity there. As far as Bihar is concerned, I see red occasionally because I've had the opportunity of going, right across the country and participating in conferences, seminars. And I remember on many occasions when I've gone there, people have asked me, are you really from Bihar? And I get mad. I mean, what do you expect somebody from Bihar to be? And unfortunately, it is all because of forms of representation. Representation largely by the media, by the film industry, where there have been certain political figures who have not lived as they are, but how they are perceived to be and caricature. And that becomes the Bihari stereotype in the minds of people right across. That is the sad bit. How many people, if you ask this question, how many people in Bihar have actually been at the top of their professions right across the board? So let's not think even for a moment that we are in any way inferior. I don't want to express ourselves in a supremacist sense. We are the greatest. I would say, but I think we are at par with everybody else. Our economic status and whatever notwithstanding, let that not influence, let's say, the judgment on Bihar. As Biharis, I think people from Bihar are extraordinarily talented and bright. No doubt.
Thank you, sir.
My question is from Conclave. So, using this sophisticated lexicon, or maybe British lexicon, in our society, in today's contemporary situation, does it seem to be that the person who is speaking speak very much cocky or very much showing personality? Because we know that our society is like primitive, not primitive, rather we can say unsophisticated. So using this British lexicon or transcribed terms, so does that show our proper nature or somewhat that a student in a society should know?
I don't know whether I have got you right. What you are probably trying to say is the articulation in speech. If it has, a neutral accent, it is acceptable by a large section of society. Is this what you're trying to say?
Yes, sir. This is one of the parts. Another part is that using very much charismatic packages or maybe sophisticated words. And,
I completely agree with what Mr. Santosh Singh said. It's far more important. You see, I'm sure you've seen a lot of these television debates, right? You have heard a number of people who speak very well, but at the end of the debate, you really wonder what they say, right? So, if you remember, he emphasized content.
what people say rather than how people say. Of course, if you speak well, it is impressive, it makes an immediate impact, but ultimately, the audience's minds are processing the information. For 5 minutes, if you may say, okay, this person has spoken so well, okay, and then you go back and say, what did this person say? Right?
Yes.
Because you're processing that information. What is the content that you have received? At the end of it, have you been enriched by what you have received? Or have you just wasted your time? I mean, you may as well go and see a film, right? That's it.
I just want to add what sir says. We don't get overawed by good expression, grandiloquent expression. If some people use pompous words, that is not going to serve any purpose. So long as you have good content, don't worry about how people speak. I did not get into television industry because of my accent. Rather than I know I am in fellow panelists with him. Very often get to debate with him. Once he rejected me saying that you have a very thick accent. But I just countered him, Rajni, your channel, I guess, is for Indian audience. Your channel is not for British audience. Even if I don't have received the pronunciation, it would go. So long that you have good content as sir said, I criticize, you don't have to worry. And at times, if you feel the powerful, especially in English, do in Hindi, write in Hindi, it will be translated later. Even you would be able to translate, just read aloud. Wherever you find, as the previous your friend asked about 30-minute versus 2 hours, that should not happen. I'm not saying that you should spend all time reading literature. It's all about book. Once you read, if you are exposed to good reading, only all kinds of expression come. Now, after 25 years in television, I understand that I can do with 3,000 words vocabulary. That's it.
Next.
Thank you.
Good morning everyone. My name is Kumar Adi. I am the student of class 8. My question is from Sir. I would like to learn and to put my thought on paper, especially in the poetry, but I have no idea when to start it.
Yeah, I think I was very much curious. Your case. ठीक है, these things से सबने अंग्रेजी में आ जाएंगे ना, तो लोग अंग्रेजी बोल रहे हैं, सबने अंग्रेजी नहीं आती, तो हिंदी में ही आती है. So process, what is the process? You learn English. See, my guru was my father, the Recitation Shastri, and how to write 2 books, how to write correct English, how to write translate into English. Those 2 books are great books for writing Bihar. The simplicity, the expression. So don't. My Brajkishore Gupta is my name. वो बोलते थे कि संतोष भाई इसलिए मैं हैश का प्रयोग सीखता हैश पढ़ाई सकते हैं छोटा था दूसरे दिन मैं दूसरा सीखता तो पांचवे सीखता था तो 2 सीखता था ये इंटरनेशनल फैन मोटिवेशन जो हुआ जाइंट क्लिप आप गूगल पे डालेंगे तो ब्रजकिशोर गुप्ता का नाम है. So we all do that process. We learn English, हिंदी में सोचते हैं, then we translate, then we speak. So that way जैसे जैसे आप पढ़ेंगे, किसी की किताब पढ़िए, डोंट वरी किसे कौन क्या कहा. Even I like चेतन भगत. So many people deride चेतन भगत. Even अरबल घड़ी का वो व्हाइट टाइगर दिखा जो ऊपर मिल गया बोलता है कि क्रैश है. बहुत सारे लोग. आप reading it should be about good English, good expression. See, when I write, what is my challenge? My challenge is to create the image. My first reader is my wife. If she approves the draft, it is okay. My quote is going to be on corporate account. So I have decided that I would write like a web series, so that all of you can read. So, this is your initial phase. This page will go over. आप पढ़िए, and this can be taken care of. After the program, you can take my number. We can interact. You can interact with sirs as well. So, it's just a process. Thank you.
As sir say, start reading. The beginning of writing is reading,
Yeah.
right? Other than reading, you cannot become a writer. You have to become reader first.
I would just like to add what Santosh has said. You said how to write, put your thoughts on paper. Just write down any rubbish. Write down anything that comes into your mind. Keep on writing. Doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense. Reread it. Read it. That's your first draft. Then you make a second draft and a third draft. It should be better and ask yourself, how can I make these thoughts better? And so, with practice, you learn how to structure your thoughts. Remember, when you write, you're compelled to structure. When you speak, you do not structure your thoughts. You speak very spontaneously. But when you're writing down, you're compelled to structure your thoughts. But in the beginning, you're very young just now. Just write down anything, even if it's wrong English, doesn't matter. Keep on writing, then ask yourself, how can I improve upon this? So rewrite whatever, maybe a paragraph or a sentence, or whatever you have written, and keep on building. Don't worry about the grammar at the beginning. And you can take the guidance of your teachers who are teaching you the language, English language. And I think in practice, if you keep writing as a habit, and as Sir has said, reading as well. Identify good passage in a book and ask yourself, what is it in this passage that makes it so beautiful? What is the vocabulary? How are the thoughts expressed here? How can I express the same thoughts in my own way? So both reading and writing go hand in hand.
Thank you, ma'am.
First of all, I want to say thanks to all judges and good morning. Especially thank you to the Mulima ma'am for praising me in front of the huge students and in front of all the students and teachers. I have a special question to Mulima ma'am stage. I would like to request her for answering my question. And my question, ma'am, how to improve my narrative style? While telling any short story or reciting poem or delivering speeches.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Repeat the question.
Yes, ma'am, how can I
Take it slowly.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, how can I actually improve my narrative style while delivering speeches? Improve my narrative style.
Writing style.
Narrative
style. You mean in writing or delivery of speech?
Delivery of anything, speeches, poetry, or telling story, anything.
Well, you have to practice again and again and listen to the speeches of people who are good speakers, maybe on the YouTube or on the net. Listen to good speakers and find out how they speak well. So the pronunciation, of course, is important, but we Indians have neutral accent. We don't have to imitate the British accent. We don't have to imitate the American accent. I think our accent is wonderful because we can get understood anywhere in the world because we have a neutral accent.
And I'll add to it, in the YouTube you will find who's my idol, Syed Jafri, Hollywood actor. He narrates the most wonderful narrator in the world. Okay, Syed Jafri. I have shared this with the teachers also. Go to the YouTube and find out how nicely he narrates. You'll get a lot of views. Okay, next.
Okay, sir. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, sir. Thank you. Good morning. I'm Ayushi of class. I would like to request Mulima ma'am. Sometimes we feel it difficult to understand what the poet actually means, what the poet wants to convey to the lines of the school. So I would like to know some ways in which we can understand the poem in an easy way.
I will first try to explain. Can you define poem or poetry? What is it? What is it mean? I'll get you the answer. But again, Or
Read
refer
the name of the poet.
some big poet or writer who has expressed what is okay. In the words of Wordsworth, I have read papers, but I read that. Okay, spontaneous feeling, overflow of emotions, put in words. Yes. So it's not, you must be driven by natural instinct in whatever manner. Man has already said, Sir has already said. So it have to be put in. And I suppose I shared it once morning assembly that I always keep a scrapbook. This was told to us long back when we were in primary classes. A scrapbook in my pillow, whatever comes to my mind, whatever. It could be a sketch, it could be words, it could be whatever it is. One day it may become a story, it may become a poem, where you find out what you will try to do. And please.
But the point, I think the way I understood it is that when you read a poem you have not read before, and you are not able to understand all the meanings, maybe you understand some of the meaning but not the meanings of it. Are you talking about that?
And the meaning of the poem. What message the poet wants to convey to the lines.
So you're not always able to understand that.
Not all sometimes.
So you do some research work as to the life of the poet or the writer, who are the people who have influenced him, and if you can get the context in which the poet has written, get the historical background, the cultural background, because see, when poets write their poems, they write from their own experiences. So if you have the historical or cultural background, the life of the poet, that may help you to understand the meaning. And it's not always necessary that you understand everything. If you don't understand everything, it doesn't matter, but try and understand things on your own, if possible. And do some research work on that poet and read his other poems, his or her other poems. I think Shankar sir wants to put in his input.
What consumer item would you like to buy next? What would you like to buy next?
Yes.
Anything that you wish to buy next, any consumer item. What do you want to buy next? Buy.
Something related to nature. A book maybe in which the poet wants to convey its message.
No, I'm talking about any consumer item, anything. Look on. And you want to buy a mobile, whatever, anything. Want to buy a dress?
Maybe a book.
You want to buy a book?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you want to buy a book?
Because I love to read books and
You want to buy a book, you want a certain kind of book, right? A certain kind of book. Before getting to buying the book, do you do a little bit of research on the book? This is what the book is trying to say. This is what, I wish to get out of the book. For example, if you're going to buy a mobile phone, right? There are hundreds of models, just like there are hundreds of books, on the same subject, let's say. Right? How do you decide what to buy? You do a lot of research because we are bombarded by advertisements, all our lives. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to sleep, it's just words, images which are being thrown at us. Right? What do? You try to make sense out of it. You can't buy 10 mobile phones. You got to buy one book, you can't buy 10. So how do you decide? How do you make that choice? You make the choice by informed reading. You read about it. That's how you make the choice. Right? So the same thing, please remember. Don't think of literature as something lofty that floats in the sky like like Wordsworth. It's not floating in the sky. Literature is a product like anything else. Like any product is consumed, literature is also consumed with one difference. That the way you consume a product, you're looking at the functionality of the product, which enables you to derive benefit out of it. As far as literature is concerned, the reader gives meaning. The writer, the poet, the dramatist, the moment it is written and it goes into the public domain, the writer does not have any control on the meaning of the word. It's the readers that interpret. And that's got to do with the entire science system in this world that we live in. Whether we are looking at images, whether we are looking at language, whatever be the science, right? So the most important thing is actually associated with doing your own research, right? So if you don't understand the poem, read about it. There's so much that is available now. You can read about it, but just don't take the views of the others as the gospel truth. You may be able to interpret the poem very differently and it may be very, very valid.
I want to add what I said, that you can interpret the poem in your own way. Shakespeare has been interpreted in so many ways and so many books of criticism. And so there's no finality of meaning. Meaning is never final. So you can give your own interpretation, you can read the, provided it makes sense. You should be able to argue convincingly and rationally about your interpretation. If you come up with an interpretation and I ask you, what's your name? Are you saying why do you think the poem means this? Then you have to convince me because I may have another interpretation. So I'll be right, you give another interpretation which may be contrary to my interpretation. But if you argue it out convincingly, then you are also right. Truth has many faces, there's no right or wrong. And there's no finality of interpretation.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I invite our principal, sir, for 2 minutes.
I wish this session would not have been finished. Oh, I am elated, fascinated, obsessed with such personalities. I was just sharing, alas, I could not have been an administrator, I would have been a literary person. Fair enough, this is not the end of it, sirs, ma'am. This is just the beginning, and it's my commitment. I would like to request you that anytime you feel that you are free of time, please give me a call. I'll arrange a seminar or an intensive session like this to enrich our students, to enrich your children. Thank you, sirs. Thank you, ma'am. And from entire JB family, we would like to felicitate you once.
Muniba ma'am, Muniba Sami ma'am, Dr. Muniba Sami ma'am, a token of respect, gratitude and love from DAV PACB family. Next, Dr. Shankar Dan sir, Dr. Shankar Dan sir. As our principal sir said that we wish this session would have finished, but Time has its own limit. Santosh Singh sir, Sri Santosh Singh sir, eminent journalist, as well as his appearance, his daughter is a part of this Parivar family. Last for photography, teachers who are involved in some department of English, teachers and head of the institutions from BABIGIMS, ma'am from Paliganj, and you are a parent, ma'am, your daughter is here, you are on stage for photography. Vivek sir, Nikhat ma'am, teachers from DAV, Jahanabad, Parsa Bazar, Palauda, please come fast for the photography. It's time for
Hello. 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 Something about to be submitted. जो शांति अंतरिक्ष शांति पृथ्वी शांति आपः शांति दोषधर्म शांति वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवा शान्ति ब्रह्म शान्ति सर्वं शान्ति शान्ति शांति शांति शांति। आप सभी को नमस्ते नमस्ते। Abhishek.